Welcome to my Living with MS. This is another one of those real podcasts because I started to narrate it into Otter in the hope of recording later, and then thought, actually, no, this needs to be real. I'm struggling. There we go, I've said it. I probably have been for a few weeks, but it kind of brought it home to me again last Saturday when I couldn't attend rugby because it would have meant a 4-hour round trip. That my cognitive just doesn't stand nowadays. And when I think I used to sit in traffic jams for hours on end. But then, to be fair, when you sat in traffic jams on a motorway or on the A1 or the A19, then you're not moving, are you? On Wednesday this week, I had 3 meetings to attend. I couldn't believe it, but yeah. I managed to get to one of them all the way through. I missed one completely. And the third one I got in for about 15 minutes. But the main one that I attended was a diversity and inclusion board that I'm on the panel of. And something was said in that meeting that really didn't resound with me at the time, but certainly did a few hours later. When I was finally diagnosed with MS, I was relieved to some degree because I thought it's finally got a name and it'll be recognised, and therefore there should be support out there. The conversation on Wednesday turned to mental health and the fact that it is so underfunded and very, very difficult for people to get into mental health services publicly. The chair asked me to speak, and I quantified it or qualified it by saying that as someone with MS who never really had any mental health issues, MS brings that on because I have anxiety about going places. Am I going to make a day out without having to have a change of underwear and get redressed again? Am I going to forget where I'm going? Am I going to fall? Am I going to get overwhelmed with noise? All those things are considered before I even go out of the door. But the comment that was made in response to what I said was, there's lots of support for MS. There isn't so much for mental health. Now, it's really difficult for me to put this into words, but there actually isn't, unless you look for it. Yeah, there's the MS Society, the MS Trust, Shift MS, all sorts of different organisations. But you have to go looking for it. And to be fair, there is only so much they can do. But the point I was trying to make was mental health issues, mostly, I would say, come alongside something else. there is more often than not a trigger. Now, I know people will come at me and say, but there's BPD and things like that, which I completely get. But a lot of mental health issues, it comes alongside something else. So should we not be trying to deal with what's causing the mental health issues rather than trying to stick a plaster on it? A lot of mine comes from the fact that at one time I would have called it FOMO, fear of missing out. It's not even that. It's the fact that I can't do it. So it's not even the fear of missing out. I can't do it. I can't just pick the phone up and ring somebody and say, let's go out for half an hour or let's go out for the day. Because I don't even have those people around me now. When I left work, one of the things that I'm going to say now is don't, under any circumstances, throw everything into work. Because I made that mistake of my life revolving around work instead of the other way around. And, ex-partners have mentioned it continually. Because when that stops, everything stops. And people who you thought were really, really good friends at work just disappeared. Absolutely disappeared off the face of the earth. People that I used to speak to every day, on a personal note as well, not just on a working note. And I thought I had a lot of people that I could rely on. So when I left work, I kind of tried to keep up with people. And there was only one or two. And I think there's only 2 or 3 now that still do. But I think what I'm trying to say is I've got hay fever. And I might have to cough in a minute, which I didn't want to do. But I also didn't want to stop the video either. So when I'm in the swing of it. So we need to address the reason for it, don't we? And I kind of know what my reason is. My reason is the fact that for all I absolutely love living where I live now, I've not really got, I've got old friends, friends that I know that I could rely on, that I've been friends with for years and years because it was where I was brought up. But I don't have those sort of friends that would just go, let's just go and do something for the day. And I really miss that. And the fact my best friend actually lives in Wigan does not help matters. I haven't seen her for months. And yeah, we do go out and do things. And I've also started to build a relationship with my sister that I never ever thought we'd have. But we have now. So I've got my sister and I've got my mum who's around the corner. And I won't be without it. The perish the thought of being out without either of them. But the actual friend side of it just died, really. And that massively affects my mental health. And I woke up really early this morning and I was thinking, because that was why I was thinking I was going to do this, because it was like going round and round in my head. So I thought, I've got to get this done. I've got to speak it out loud. Because that's the way that I deal with things. And I just thought to myself, I'm going to get up. I'm going to feed the dog. The dog's going to be a git, not want to go outside. I'm going to have to get up, get washed, clean my teeth, take my medication, pour a glass of orange juice, take my medication, empty the dishwasher, fill the dishwasher, ran out of milk. So really I should have gone to shop, but it's raining, so I'll go later. There's rugby on this afternoon. I can do some trailing through TikTok and social media, but that someone gets boring. So what else is there to do? The Saturday afternoons when I would have been getting dressed in 10 minutes, throwing some makeup on and going out, are long gone. However, my Facebook will be full of people doing that very thing. And I don't have that now. The majority of my friends are behind this computer screen. And I don't know when that's going to change. And is that what I've got to look forward to for the rest of my life, however long that might be? But then I see things on social media and on Twitter, and I see what politicians are doing, and I see that today Sunak's come out and said that he wants to use culture wars, including trans people, as his next campaigning. And it's like, why? Why are you attacking minorities every single day? And then there's what's going on with the likes of Dan Wharton. And people, I've just replied to a comment on Twitter of a guy who has donated his full disability payment for the month to Dan Wharton, who is a multi-millionaire. The people coming out in defence of this guy today are not interested in anything that's real. Why aren't they seeing people screaming from the rooftops about the fact that ticket offices are being closed across up and down the country? The NHS is falling apart. Social care has just been declared as the largest privately funded organisation in this country. Yet it's on its knees. Yet people aren't getting the support they need. If I was getting the support I needed, I would have somebody as a carer or a PA or whatever who could go places with me, who could take me places. During the week, which I've read and it's ridiculous, the disability plan came out, and I was asked to speak on Viking Radio. Well, I only did like sound bites, and he was reading it out to me, and I thought, there's nothing in here. There's absolutely nothing in here. And they sold this plan on the fact that they were going to train taxi drivers to understand how to deal with disabled people. I've got to get in a taxi first. I've got to have somebody with me if I'm going to go in a taxi. But none of that's even talked about. That is just completely brushed over. This disability plan is literally just another dog whistle to throw out, that they've got nothing to support us with. There's no weight behind it whatsoever. Rachel from the Daily Mirror has pulled it apart. It's available on Twitter, how she's pulled it apart. But there's not much about it because there's just nothing in it particularly. Yet a disabled person has donated. I mean, he can do what he likes with his money, but he's lucky if he's got a full month's worth of money spare to be able to donate to Dan Wotton. When most disabled people can't afford to run their equipment and can't afford to eat. So yeah, a lot. Just think of the amount of mental health issues that are brought on by the cost of living and the fact that people just don't know when they're going to be able to afford the gas and electric. Grant snaps last week saying that they've cut the cap on gas and electric. Where's my gas and electric just gone up another £40 a month? Went up £50 a month last year. It's gone up £40, another £40 a month. It's nearly £200 a month. I live in a one-bedroom bungalow. Admittedly, I do have to use things like the tumble dryers and dishwashers because I can't stand for long at a sink. And have you tried pigging washing on the line when you can't look up? I don't have any space in the bungalow to put to dry washing. And apart from anything else, the times that I have tried to dry washing, it's been damp. So I'd rather not have my clothes smelling if I can put them in a tumble dryer. But then I shouldn't have to think about that, should I? I shouldn't have to think, well, actually, no, I can't afford to use a tumble dryer today because I've got to eat instead. So I've got no clothes to wear. But then I don't really go anywhere anyway, so why would I want any clothes? It's a good job people send me them for free every now and again. So yeah, and where's my friend Craig? This is probably a bit of a woe is me. But I don't do woe is me very often. So just allow me this chance to do it. I don't know where it takes me. I don't know whether it's made me feel any better by doing this. I do need to go to the opticians because a pair of glasses that I had to pay £330 for, which you can imagine absolutely skinted me, don't fit me properly. I can't see out of them. These are about 6 years old, 7 years old, maybe. I've got pretty used to wearing them, but they're obviously about 5 prescriptions back. Thankfully, I don't have a really deep prescription. So I was sat here waiting for the dog walker to come because he missed us out one day during the week, so I said he was going to come today instead. And then I don't really know what I'm going to do with the rest of the day. If you manage to get to the end of this, woe is me. And you follow me on all my social media, which you can find on this video, you'll know that this isn't really me. But today, I just had to put it out there. I've not put any makeup on or anything. I usually do my hair. I haven't even done my hair. This is just me. Raw, Rach. Over and out.